Hello again. Glad to see everybody back again. So we haven't had a lesson on reading music for the people that want to be able to read standard notation. So we're going to dive into just a little bit of review, and then we'll get into maybe a little bit, more few things maybe we haven't discussed before. So I'm going to just try and use some documents that I've got here to kind of guide you a little bit. Now, the main thing is with counting, as we talked about before, is you have to count, okay? 4/4, if that's the time signature, which usually shows up over here, but it's not actually on this page. You have to count for every measure, and every measure, as you can see, has a line. That's one measure, and there's a line, another measure, and that's another line. We're not going to get into this part of it just yet. We're just going to look at the top, because we just want to review. Remember, this is the staff, and the notes are going to be along the staff. And we talked about what the notes are. If you need review on that, we'll get to it, but we're not going to do that review today. We're going to do like what the notes are and how many beats and how you need to count it. So when you have the circle, and this is all C, okay? Nothing but the C note, because we told you the spaces is F, A, C, and E. And we did tell you that the lines are E, G, B, D, and E. Okay, we won't go about what's above or below right now, but notes can go very high and they can go very low. Okay, so when you see a whole note, round circle, it gets 4 beats. So no matter how slow or how fast the tempo of the music is, when you have a C note or any note on the scale, you have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? When we move over to the second part of here, we have half notes, okay? Again, it's the C note that we're here having it all along, every single measure. Remember, every space with the line at the end is a measure. And because this has a line coming down, and again, it is a circle, but it's a circle with a line going down. And sometimes you'll see the circle lower on the staff and the line going up. These are half notes. So if each half note gets counted 2 beats. So if this was actually in a song and you were like playing along, you were reading it, you would count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Every time that you're playing a piece of music that's standard notation, you're counting from the first measure to wherever the last measure is. Okay, you can never stop counting because that's the only way you're going to play the notes properly. Okay, so we've got the whole note, no line, just a circle with nothing in it. And then we have the half notes that have a line either goes down or goes up. And each half note gets, in 4/4 time, gets 2 beats to each note. When we move over a little further, and this is just math, we're going back to fractions, basically, from when you were in school. Everything is math with music. So we've got quarter notes here. So when you're in 4/4 time, and if these 4 notes were exactly like this, it would be 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N, okay? Each note would get 1 beat. That is a quarter note. A quarter note is the fraction 1 line over 2, okay? Now, we're moving forward, and now we've got several notes. That's because we have eighth notes, okay? Whole, half, quarter, eighth, okay? It's still going to be 4 beats. So if you were counting this, it would be, the first 2 notes would be 1N, the second 2 would be 2N, the next would be 3N, and the next would be 4N. So if you were playing this, and the C was the note, it would be da 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 da. but 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N, as opposed to being with a whole note, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. When you start getting into eighth notes, you got to get into that 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. But we keep going because down here, we've got 16th notes. Okay? So look at that. We've got 16 notes in this one measure. Where up here, we only had 1 note. So when you're doing 16 notes, it's almost like it's so quick, you know. It's like you have to, instead of 1N, it's basically getting in your mind to count 1 ianda, da-da-da-da, because that's how fast it would have to go. And again, it depends on how fast and how slow the music is that you're playing. So this would be, these are 16th notes, okay? So it would be da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da. And that would be, again, depending on the speed of the music. Or you could count it as 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, 4 iana. Okay? So that's the first part of the lesson today. The second part we're going to go to is, again, getting back just to kind of like being able to read the notes, you know. And this is, these are A notes here, but similar to what we did before, okay? Again, you can see the 4/4, which means that it's 4 beats per measure. You can see this is the A note. Remember, the first space is F and the second space is A. So these are quarter notes. So like we said before, 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. Okay? The next measure is just quarter notes. So each quarter note gets a 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. This is kind of review what we went over with this little different format. Here's 2 notes in this measure. They're half notes. See, the line is going up. And so we would count this 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. And then back to the whole note, which is 4 beats, just 1 note. This A note would be, you would count it 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if it's a slow song, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so, you know, moving down a little bit, it's just different ways that you're always going to have music with different notes, and you have to learn how to count them. So let's say this first one is a half note and 2 quarter notes at the top. So you would count that as 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. Okay? The note at the bottom is the F. So you would count that because it's a quarter note, half note, and another quarter note. You would count it as 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. Then we go down to the next line. It's 2 quarter notes and a half note. So it would be counted as 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N, and so forth. The only other thing I think I want to show you would be, again, just another kind of review. These are quarter notes. These are considered a measure. 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. They're all quarter notes, okay? We jump down to the next line. This is really a half note, so it's 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. And then the half note on this one is over here. These are quarter notes, 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. Okay? And it just keeps going on and on like that. I don't want to give you too much because I don't want it to be overwhelming, and not everybody is interested in this video and learning how to read, but it really is a good thing to know. You know, you can just put a piece of music in front of you once you learn how to read, and you can play thousands of songs, because thousands of songs melody is not that difficult. It uses a lot of half notes, whole notes, quarter notes, and it's not super fast shredding. It's a melody that you know is slow, and most songs you could pick up easily once you learn the notes on the guitar again, and you know how to count. Counting is where it's at, okay? And it will only help you as you move forward, advancing, even getting in bands. You know, if you're with a drummer that can't count, you got a problem. So, you know, if you know how to count, you can teach your drummer, you know, how to, you know, pause and count and wait until his next part comes in or he needs to emphasize a certain part. So we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.